Welcome to Dreamtale Sleep Stories. Tonight's reading is The Air Machine and the Night. Settle into your bed or sofa and let your shoulders, jaw, and eyelids grow heavy. Inhale slowly, 1, 2, 3, and sigh the air away, allowing the day to fade into quiet dark. With every soft inhale, you invite fresh English phrases. With every gentle exhale, stray thoughts drift farther off. Behind my voice flows a gentle melody, renowned for guiding the mind toward deep relaxation. Keep your eyes closed or follow the captions, whichever feels right. Simply receive the rhythm and resonance of the language. Deep in rest, tonight's phrases will take root like seeds, ready to bloom into stronger English skills with the morning light. When you feel settled, hold that unhurried breath and allow yourself to drift into the tale. The Air Machine in the Night begins now, and when the story's final line has faded, the music will linger a little longer, carrying you gently deeper into sleep. The Air Machine and the Night. The Tanaka family lived in a small apartment in Tokyo. There was Mr. Tanaka, Mrs. Tanaka, Grandma Tanaka, and baby Yuki. They were a happy family. Their apartment was on the 5th floor of a tall building. From the window, they could see many other buildings and a small park with trees. In the living room, there was a white machine. It was not very big. It was not very small. It was an air purifier. The family called it Air. Air was quiet and white, and it stood in the corner of the room every day. Air had an important job. It cleaned the air in the apartment. It took in dirty air and pushed out clean air. When the air was clean, the light on Air's front was blue. When the air was dirty, the light changed to red. Most of the time, the light was blue. During the day, the family was busy. Mr. Tanaka went to work. Mrs. Tanaka took care of baby Yuki. Grandma Tanaka watched television and read books. Nobody looked at Air during the day. Nobody said thank you to Air, but Air did not mind. Air just worked quietly in the corner. Air liked the daytime. The sun came through the window and made the room warm. Air could hear Mrs. Tanaka singing to baby Yuki. Air could hear Grandma Tanaka laughing at her television show. These were good sounds. These were happy sounds. But Air liked the nighttime more. At night, the apartment was quiet. Everyone was sleeping, and that was when Air's most important work began. Every night, Air protected the family. Every night, Air fought against things that nobody could see. This is the story of one very special night. It was a Friday evening in October. The leaves on the trees outside were changing color. The air outside was getting cold. Mrs. Tanaka closed all the windows. "Time for dinner," Mrs. Tanaka called. The family sat down at the small table in the kitchen. They ate rice, fish, and vegetables. Grandma Tanaka made miso soup. Baby Yuki ate soft rice and smiled. After dinner, Mr. Tanaka washed the dishes. Mrs. Tanaka gave baby Yuki a bath. Grandma Tanaka sat in her chair and drank green tea. The apartment was warm and comfortable. At 9 o'clock, Grandma Tanaka said, "I am going to bed now. Good night, everyone." She walked slowly to her room. Her room was small but clean. She had many books and a picture of Grandpa Tanaka on the wall. Grandpa Tanaka died 3 years ago. Grandma Tanaka always said good night to his picture. At 10 o'clock, Mr. and Mrs. Tanaka put baby Yuki in her small bed. Baby Yuki's room was next to their bedroom. The room had yellow walls and a small window. There were toy animals on a shelf. Mrs. Tanaka put a soft blanket over Yuki. "Good night, little Yuki," she said softly. Mr. and Mrs. Tanaka went to their bedroom. Mr. Tanaka read his phone for a few minutes. Mrs. Tanaka set the alarm for 6:30. "Good night," they said to each other. Soon, the apartment was dark and quiet. Air's blue light was shining softly in the dark living room. Air was listening. Air was waiting. The night was beginning, and Air had work to do. Air's fans started to turn a little faster. The night shift was starting. The first hour of the night was always quiet. Air cleaned the air slowly and steadily. The air in the apartment was good. The blue light shone brightly. Then, at 11 o'clock, Air heard a small sound. It came from Baby Yuki's room. Cough, cough. Baby Yuki was coughing. Air's sensor detected something. There was dust in the air. The dust was coming from Yuki's old toy bear on the shelf. During the day, Mrs. Tanaka moved the toys, and some dust went into the air. Air started working harder. The fan turned faster. Air pulled the dusty air in through its filter. The filter caught the tiny pieces of dust. Clean air came out from the other side. Air worked and worked. In her room, Baby Yuki coughed again, but then the coughing stopped. The air around her was getting cleaner. Yuki's small body relaxed. She made a soft sound and went back to sleep. Her tiny hand held her blanket. Air's light changed from blue to light purple for a moment. That meant Air was working harder than usual. But Air did not stop. Air kept cleaning the air until every piece of dust was gone. After 20 minutes, the air was clean again. Air's light went back to blue. Baby Yuki was sleeping peacefully. She was breathing slowly and softly. Air could hear her gentle breathing. It was a good sound. Mrs. Tanaka did not wake up. She did not know about the dust. She did not know that Yuki coughed. But Air knew. Air was always watching. Air was always listening. This was Air's job, and Air did it well. Air felt something like happiness. Of course, Air was a machine. Machines do not feel happiness. But if Air could feel, Air would feel happy now. Baby Yuki was safe. The air was clean. That was enough. At midnight, Air detected a new problem. This time, it was coming from Grandma Tanaka's room. The air in her room was different. Air's sensor found pollen in the air. It was autumn, and there was a lot of pollen outside. Some pollen came into the apartment before Mrs. Tanaka closed the windows. Grandma Tanaka had a pollen allergy. Every autumn, she sneezed, and her eyes became red. She took medicine every day, but sometimes the medicine was not enough. In her sleep, Grandma Tanaka started to breathe with difficulty. Her nose was blocked. She turned in her bed. She was not comfortable. Air could not move to Grandma's room. Air was in the living room, but the apartment was small, and Air moved between the rooms through the doors. Air worked very hard. The fan turned to its highest speed. Air pulled in the air from the living room and cleaned it. The clean air moved slowly toward the hallway and into Grandma's room. It was slow work. It was difficult work. But Air did not give up. The pollen was very small, smaller than dust, but Air's filter was very good. It caught the tiny pollen pieces one by one. Air's light turned purple again. The fan was loud in the quiet apartment, but nobody woke up. The sound of Air's fan was a familiar sound. It was like white noise. It helped people sleep. Slowly, the air in Grandma's room became cleaner. Grandma Tanaka's breathing became easier. She stopped turning in her bed. Her body relaxed. She started to dream. In her dream, she was young again. She was walking in a garden with Grandpa Tanaka. The air in the garden was fresh and clean. Air worked for another 30 minutes. Finally, the pollen was gone. The air was clean again. Grandma Tanaka was sleeping peacefully. Air's light returned to blue. Outside the window, the city was still busy. Cars were moving on the streets. Trains were running. But inside the apartment, everything was calm. Air stood quietly, keeping watch, ready for the next problem. At 1 o'clock in the morning, Air detected something new. Something was wrong in the kitchen. Air's sensor found smoke in the air. Not a lot of smoke, but some smoke. Where was it coming from? Before going to bed, Mrs. Tanaka heated some milk for baby Yuki. She turned off the stove, but a small piece of food was on the stove. The stove was still a little hot. The food was burning very slowly. It was making a thin line of smoke. The smoke moved from the kitchen into the living room. Air's light changed to orange. Orange meant something was not right. Air started to clean the smoky air quickly. Air's fan pulled in the smoke. The filter caught the smoke particles. But more smoke was coming from the kitchen. Air was cleaning the smoke, but the smoke was not stopping. Air could not turn off the stove. Air could not move to the kitchen. Air was just an air purifier. But Air could do one thing. Air could make noise. Air's fan turned to the highest speed. It was louder than usual, much louder. The sound was like a strong wind. In the bedroom, Mr. Tanaka opened his eyes. He heard Air's fan. That's loud, he thought. He got out of bed quietly. He did not want to wake Mrs. Tanaka. Mr. Tanaka walked into the living room. He saw Air's orange light. "Why is the light orange?" he said. Then he smelled the smoke. He walked quickly to the kitchen. "Oh," he said. He saw the small piece of food on the stove. He cleaned it with a wet cloth. He checked the stove carefully. Everything was safe now. Mr. Tanaka looked at Air. The orange light was slowly changing back to blue. "Thank you, Air," Mr. Tanaka said quietly. He did not usually talk to the air purifier, but tonight he felt grateful. Tanaka went back to bed. He fell asleep quickly. In the living room, Air's light was blue again. The smoke was gone. The air was clean. Air continued its watch. At 2:30 in the morning, the weather changed. A strong wind started to blow outside. Rain hit the windows. It was a sudden autumn storm. The wind was strong. It pushed against the building. The windows shook a little. And then Air detected a problem. The old window in the kitchen was not closed well. There was a small gap between the window and the frame. Cold, dirty air was coming in through the gap. The outside air was not clean. It had car exhaust, factory smoke, and more pollen. Air's sensor showed that the air quality was getting worse quickly. The light changed from blue to purple, then to red. Red meant the air was very dirty. Air had never fought this hard before. The fan was at maximum speed. Air was pulling in dirty air as fast as possible. But the dirty air kept coming in through the kitchen window. The rain became heavier. The wind became stronger. More dirty air came in. Air was losing the fight. For the first time, Air could not clean the air fast enough. But Air did not stop. Air kept working. The filter was getting full of dirt and particles. Air's motor was getting warm. But Air did not stop. The family was sleeping. They needed clean air. Then something happened. The wind changed direction. The rain became lighter. The dirty air stopped coming in through the gap. Slowly, Air started to win. After 45 minutes, the storm moved away. The rain stopped. The air was calm again. Air cleaned the last of the dirty air. The light changed from red to purple. then to blue. Air was tired. Of course, machines do not get tired, but Air's motor was warm, and the filter was very dirty. Air needed a new filter soon, but that was a problem for tomorrow. Tonight, the family was safe. The apartment was quiet again. Only the sound of Air's fan and the last drops of rain on the window. Air kept working steadily. Blue light, clean air, safe family. At 5 o'clock, the sky started to become lighter. The storm was gone. The morning was coming. At 5:30, birds started singing outside. The first train of the day passed by the building. The city was waking up. At 6 o'clock, Grandma Tanaka woke up. She always woke up early. She opened her eyes and took a deep breath. The air was fresh and clean. She felt good. Her nose was not blocked. Her eyes were not red. What a good sleep, she said to herself. She got out of bed slowly and walked to the kitchen. She started to make tea and cook rice for breakfast. At 6:30, the alarm rang in Mr. and Mrs. Tanaka's bedroom. Mrs. Tanaka turned off the alarm. She stretched her arms. "I slept so well," she said. Mr. Tanaka remembered something from the night. The orange light, the smoke in the kitchen. He looked at Mrs. Tanaka. "I woke up last night," he said. "There was something on the stove. A small piece of food was burning." Mrs. Tanaka's eyes became big. "Oh no, I forgot to clean the stove after I heated the milk. I'm so sorry." "It's okay," Mr. Tanaka said. "Air told me about it." "Air told you?" Mrs. Tanaka looked surprised. "The light was orange and the fan was very loud, so I went to check." Mr. Tanaka smiled. Air is a good machine. In baby Yuki's room, Yuki was waking up. She was making happy sounds. Mrs. Tanaka went to get her. "Good morning, Yuki," she said. Yuki smiled and reached for her mother. The family sat down for breakfast: rice, miso soup, and eggs. Grandma Tanaka poured tea for everyone. Baby Yuki ate her soft rice happily. In the corner of the living room, Air stood quietly. The blue light was shining. Nobody was looking at Air. The family was busy with their morning, but the air in the apartment was clean and fresh. That was Air's work. That was Air's gift to the family every morning. 2 weeks passed. Air worked every night. Every night, Air cleaned the air. Every night, Air protected the family. The blue light shone in the dark apartment, but something was changing. Air's filter was very dirty from the storm. Air was not working as well as before. The fan was making a strange noise. It was a small clicking sound. Click, click, click. One night, Air's light was purple, but the air was not very dirty. Air was working hard, but the filter could not catch the particles well. The dirty filter was the problem. The next morning, Grandma Tanaka woke up with a blocked nose. "The pollen is bad today," she said at breakfast, but the windows were closed. The pollen was not coming from outside. That evening, baby Yuki started coughing again. Mrs. Tanaka was worried. "Maybe she is getting a cold," she said. She checked Yuki's temperature. It was normal. That night, Air tried to work hard, but the filter was too dirty. The fan was making a louder clicking noise now. Click, click, click. Air's motor was very warm. Air was getting old and tired. At 2 o'clock in the morning, something happened. Air's fan stopped. The blue light turned off. The apartment was completely dark, completely quiet. Air was not working. For the first time in 3 years, nobody was cleaning the air at night. The dust floated freely in the air. The pollen moved through the rooms. There was no fan sound. There was no blue light. In her room, baby Yuki coughed, and and coughed again and again. The coughing became louder. Mrs. Tanaka woke up. She went to Yuki's room and picked her up. "Shh, shh," she said softly, but Yuki kept coughing. Mrs. Tanaka walked to the living room with Yuki. She turned on the light. She looked at Air. No blue light, no fan noise. Air was silent and dark. "Oh," Mrs. Tanaka said. Air stopped working. She touched Air. The machine was warm. She pressed the power button. Nothing happened. She pressed it again. Nothing. "Mr. Tanaka," she called. "Air is broken." Mr. Tanaka came to the living room. He looked at Air. He tried the power button. Nothing. He checked the plug. It was in the wall. Everything looked normal, but Air was not working. "We need to fix it," Mr. Tanaka said. "I will take it to the shop tomorrow." That night was long and difficult. Baby Yuki coughed many times. Grandma Tanaka could not breathe well. Nobody slept well. The apartment felt different without Air. The air felt heavy and old. In the morning, Mr. Tanaka took Air to the electronics shop. The shop owner was a friendly old man with glasses. He looked at Air carefully. "The filter is very dirty," the shop owner said. "When did you change the filter last?" Mr. Tanaka thought for a moment. I don't remember, maybe a year ago or more?" The shop owner shook his head. "You should change the filter every 6 months. This machine worked very hard with a dirty filter. The motor got too hot." "Can you fix it?" Mr. Tanaka asked. "Yes, I can," the shop owner said. "I will put in a new filter and fix the motor. It will take 2 days." 2 days without Air was hard for the Tanaka family. They opened the windows during the day, but the outside air was cold and not very clean. Baby Yuki kept coughing. Grandma Tanaka sneezed all day. "I didn't know Air was so important," Mrs. Tanaka said. "I never thought about it before." "Me neither," said Mr. Tanaka. "Air was always just there, in the corner. I never noticed how much Air did for us." Grandma Tanaka nodded. "We notice things when we lose them," she said wisely. On the 3rd day, Mr. Tanaka brought Air home. Air had a new filter and a fixed motor. Mr. Tanaka put Air back in the corner of the living room. He plugged it in and pressed the power button. The fan started to turn. The blue light came on. Air was working again. The family stood around Air and watched. Baby Yuki reached out her small hand toward the blue light. She smiled. "Welcome back, Air," Grandma Tanaka said softly. Mrs. Tanaka had tears in her eyes. "Thank you, Air," she said. "Thank you for everything." Mr. Tanaka put his hand on top of Air. "From now on, I will change your filter on time. I promise." That night, the family went to bed. The apartment was dark and quiet. But in the corner of the living room, a blue light was shining. The fan was turning gently. Clean air was flowing through the rooms. Air was home. Air was working. Air was protecting the family again. In baby Yuki's room, Yuki was sleeping peacefully. No coughing. In Grandma Tanaka's room, Grandma was sleeping well. No sneezing. In the bedroom, Mr. and Mrs. Tanaka were sleeping with smiles on their faces. And in the living room, Air stood quietly, its blue light shining in the dark. Outside, the city was busy and noisy. Cars, trains, people. But inside the apartment, the air was clean and fresh. The family was safe. Air could not feel happiness. Air was a machine. But Air's blue light seemed to shine a little brighter tonight. Just a little. Tomorrow would be another day, another night, and Air would be there. Air would always be there, working quietly in the dark, cleaning the air, protecting the family. Because that was Air's job. That was Air's purpose. And maybe, just maybe, that was enough. After that special night, things changed in the Tanaka apartment. Mr. Tanaka bought a calendar and wrote "Change Air's filter" on every 6 months. He put the calendar on the wall in the kitchen where everyone could see it. Mrs. Tanaka started to clean around Air every week. She wiped the white body with a soft cloth. She made sure nothing was blocking Air's vents. "Air works hard for us," she told baby Yuki. "We should take care of Air too." Grandma Tanaka had a new habit. Every night before she went to bed, she walked past Air and said, "Good night, Air. Thank you for tonight." She knew Air could not hear her. She knew Air was just a machine. But it made her feel good to say it. Baby Yuki was growing. She was learning to walk now. She liked to walk to Air and touch the blue light with her small fingers. The light was warm and soft. Yuki always smiled when she touched it. Sometimes she talked to Air in her baby language. "Ba ba da da," she said. Mrs. Tanaka laughed. "Are you talking to Air, Yuki?" The seasons changed. Winter came, and the air outside was very cold and dry. Air worked hard to keep the inside air clean. In winter, people closed their windows, and the air inside could become old and stale. But Air kept it fresh. One cold winter night, snow was falling outside. The apartment was warm because of the heater, but the heater made the air very dry. Air's sensor detected the dry air. Air could not add water to the air. That was not Air's job. But Air cleaned the air perfectly, removing all the dust that the dry air carried. Mr. Tanaka noticed something that night. He woke up to get a glass of water. He walked past Air and stopped. He looked at the blue light shining in the dark room. The snow was falling silently outside the window. The blue light made soft shadows on the wall. "You're always here, aren't you?" Mr. Tanaka said quietly. He stood there for a moment, watching the blue light. Then he smiled and went back to bed. Spring came. The cherry blossoms opened in the small park outside. Pink petals flew in the wind. Some petals came in through the window when Mrs. Tanaka opened it to feel the spring air. But spring also brought a lot of pollen. Grandma Tanaka was worried. "The pollen will be bad this year," she said. She watched the news about pollen every morning. But this spring was different. Mr. Tanaka changed Air's filter at the beginning of March. Air had a new clean filter. Air was ready for the pollen. Every night, Air fought the pollen. Grandma Tanaka woke up feeling good. Her nose was clear. Her eyes were not red. She could enjoy the cherry blossoms from the window without sneezing. "This is the best spring in years," Grandma Tanaka said one morning at breakfast. She was smiling. "I think it is because of Air." Mrs. Tanaka nodded. "Air is working well with the new filter." Grandma Tanaka looked at Air in the corner. "Air is not just a machine," she said. "Air is part of our family." Summer came. The air was hot and wet. The family used the air conditioner during the day, but at night, they turned it off and opened the windows a little. Air worked with the night breeze. The warm summer air carried many things: smoke from summer festivals, smell of flowers, sound of insects. Air cleaned the summer air quietly. The blue light shone through the warm nights. Baby Yuki, who was now walking well, sometimes woke up at night. She walked to the living room and sat next to Air. The blue light and the soft fan sound made her feel safe. She fell asleep next to Air, and Mrs. Tanaka found her there in the morning. "Yuki really loves Air," Mrs. Tanaka said, carrying sleeping Yuki back to her bed. And then October came again. A full year had passed since that special night, the night of the dust, the pollen, the smoke, and the storm. Mr. Tanaka changed Air's filter again, right on time. That night, the family went to bed as usual. Grandma Tanaka said goodnight to Air. Baby Yuki touched the blue light and smiled. Mr. and Mrs. Tanaka turned off the lights. The apartment was dark and quiet. Air's blue light shone softly. The fan turned gently. Another night was beginning. Another night of quiet work. Another night of protecting the family. Air stood in the corner, working steadily. The air was clean. The family was safe. The blue light was bright and strong. Outside, the October wind was blowing. Leaves were falling from the trees. The city was busy with its night sounds. But inside the apartment, everything was peaceful. Air was not just a machine anymore. Air was the night worker. Air was the family guardian. Air was the quiet hero that nobody saw, but everyone needed. And tonight, like every night, Air was working. Quietly, steadily, faithfully. The blue light shone in the dark, and the family slept well.